Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the city council meeting. It is Tuesday, April 25th at 7 p.m. We're at the Olivet City Center at 1140 Dillman Road in Olivet. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Here.
Councilmember Waldman,
Here.
Councilmember Knox.
Here.
Chairman Pro Tem Carl,
Here.
Mayor.
Here. Next item, please.
Next item is item number 2, communications. Mayor, we have no written communications.
Thank you. Next item, please.
The next item is city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Bear with me for just a second. I'll bring her up. And we have a city council, report for tonight. From a little highlights from the staff report. Easy storage, there's a picture that's well out of date. If you've driven by there, that wall in the back right here is probably twice, almost block the sun if I were to go up there today. Now it's over halfway done up there, so that building's moving along quickly. In the planning department, Jared Kurtz has passed a certification, his test to conduct commercial plan reviews. So he now, if you read in the report there, he now has 5 certificates behind his name, which is a big accomplishment for the planning department itself and for Jared. So congratulations for all that work that took to get to that point. Other kind of highlights inside, you'll see Jeff Cummins, Detective Cummins was selected to be a major case investigator. And he's one of 3 in the Olivet Police Department. And I put a +1 there because Chief Andreski is also commander. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. She's eligible to be a case commander. I knew I was going to forget that.
She's not anymore.
She's not anymore. It says it in
became
the.
a cheese.
Okay, well, we'll.
Maybe I haven't informed
All
her.
right. Well, the other +1, the other +1 in here is Councilmember Knox, who is the executive director of the major case squad. So there's the 2 +1s that we have in there.
You just became per one.
Just why we should have just 1 +1. We need to tell the person making the staff report.
That and I
Yeah.
don't want to. I don't go out in the middle of the night.
In the fire department, the city center actually hosted a driver operator, the pumper class portion of the driver operator state class. It's 40 hours, so it was a full week of sitting in the community rooms and using the fire apparatus out in the fire bay for pump class. And that's a big it's a huge accomplishment to be able to have that here, to have all the equipment in the space here. It's a state program. And by hosting that, we do get a guaranteed 2 to 3 spots in that, which are pretty tough to get into. Only a final thing I'll list in here, there are lots of good information, those staff reports. We did receive a $631,000 award from MoDOT for improvements at the Olivet North Price intersection. And this is just kind of reiterate some other something we said in the previous weeks. This is a complex project with a lot of moving pieces, moving timelines, and that'll be coming in the next couple weeks for some of our budget discussions. But that is a big piece of that, obviously, at $631,000. From there, upcoming events, and this is from the city website, native plant sale, the Saturday, the 29th, from 9 a.m. until it's sold out here at the city center. The Olivet Firefighters Community Outreach Fundraiser is Friday, May 11th from 6:30 to 8 at Olivet Lanes. Citywide garage sale, or yard sale, I should say. The weekend of May 20th and 21st. You can if you register by 5 p.m. Again, this is online. On that Friday before 5/19, you'll be included on the map, and make sure people come by your house. And then the final thing on the website that we have here, aside from the next couple slides, is that we're having a blood drive here at the city center, and it's Wednesday, May 24th from 2 to 7.
Thank you.
Other things you'll find that on the website is the comprehensive plan, lots of information on that. But the major highlight here I want to point out in the lower right, on May 18th, which is a Thursday from 6 to 8, is the Community Vision Workshop. And this is a major milestone inside of the comprehensive planning process. There's going to be 3 separate kind of stations going around here, and at 6:15 and at 7:15 are 2 of the major kind of kickoff kind of speeches that as you go around through those stations. If you can make it through that, that's best, but it's not required.
Could I ask a question later on this? Is it going to be the same thing? They're going to say the same thing at 6:15 and say the same thing at 7:15, or it's,
That's right.
okay.
And then not to take away from that, which is kind of one of the bigger deals, but on Thursday is a city council and planning commission joint meeting, which is another big step. It's going to take all the input we've gathered from this from that point and put it all together. So other thing coming up, May 6th is Party in the Park, which is music, mosaics, and memories. And the list of stuff going on is on the right side. We have a master of ceremonies, yard games, obstacle course. It's your own fault if you don't have fun. And it's an unveiling of the mosaic at Stacy Park, which is it's in now, and it looks really good. Keep saying summer camp registration is open. I don't have figures. I don't have figures for you. I actually didn't put anything in I didn't look at that staff report. So I'm sorry about that, but I'll get some figures for next time about where we're at as far as registration. There are specialty and sports camps also available for registration there. And we're still taking resumes for camp leaders. That process has begun. So meetings. 25th, well, that's tonight, so obviously that's going on. The joint meeting for the 27th is on Thursday, like I said, at 7. Pension board meeting is next Thursday, May 4th. Planning and Community Design Commission later on that night, May 4th. Regular meeting then is on May 9th. The Housing Authority is having a meeting on May 16th at noon. And then Parks and Rec Commission meeting on May 17th from 7. And then rounding on that out is a Planning Commission meeting on May 18th. Notable exclusions on here is the regular work session on May 2nd. That's being, it's going to be a special closed meeting for the interviews of the new city manager. So it's meeting here, but it will be closed and it noticed as such. That's all that I have. Pretty short. Any questions?
Are there any questions? Go ahead.
Darren, thank you very much. Darren, I'm going back to the letter. Let's talk about Mr. McGregor for a while. So in the letter, it really says, and I just need it for my own clarification, cost share funds not to exceed $631,500. That's what we're gonna get from MoDOT and CMAQ, given they get the approval later on down the road from the SDP money, right?
The CMAQ is, my understanding is actually a whole different, it's a different one. We won't find that out until August. Again, one of those missing pieces that fairly complex kind of thing. This one is the cost share.
Dillman and North Price.
At Olive and North Price. Uh-huh.
It says on
Yeah.
the document, is
Olive
that
at
a
North-
typo? It says North Price and Dillman Industrial
No,
Court.
no, you're right. It says Route 340 at North
Uh-huh.
Price Road and Dillman Industrial Road.
Sure.
That's the opening.
My real question is this. What are we putting in it financially? What have we committed to?
It comes
this
in at
project?
about this project itself at around $1.2 million is a total project, even more. It again, this is a work in process. This was a big piece of it that kind of makes us without this, we maybe would or would not go forward. This is a huge projection toward going forward with the entire project.
Okay,
I promise
Okay.
we'll get you we'll have everything together with all the numbers and all the figures, and then we will,
okay.
we'll have a good conversation.
I
Yes.
appreciate, it's
Uh-huh.
just in my own recollection again. I know it's an important project, so I appreciate
Yes,
that.
yep.
Next item, please. Oh, are there any other questions? No. Next item, please.
Next item is city council reports.
We'll start it to my right. Councilmember Knox.
Good evening, everyone. I attended Parks and Recreation Commission on April 19th. I filled in for the mayor. And there's a lot going on in the parks with all the new parks getting ready to open. And also the community center is really moving along. It was a very good meeting. And they talked about some guidance they need from the city council on when the nomination and elections of the chairperson and vice chair for the Parks Commission.
But I've already spoken with Mr. Mann. So I'll get back to you, to
Okay,
Bev on that when she's back from vacation.
okay. That's all I have to report.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Greg, do you,
I have nothing to
Chairman
report.
Pro Tem? Councilmember Wellman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just briefly and quickly, on April 20th, I attended the executive board meeting of the Municipal League of Metropolitan St. Louis. I am pleased to report that the nominating committee did renominate me for the 3-year term. The bylaws were changed previously. Thank you. I, I do feel a little bit, the next level is going up to a little bit more of a regional, kind of a look at things. So I'm looking forward to trying to accomplish some things there on behalf of the city and the region. Scott, I'm sorry, hold on a minute. Scott Douglas, who was a longtime mayor, was honored recently. He has been in public service for many years and had to recently step down. And so County Council Member Harder identified that he was being recognized and honored, and we will be doing the same for the mayor of Bellefontaine Neighbors, who's retiring after almost 40 years. God bless him. But we will have our installation dinner that will take place. Gotta get to my pink sheet, so I'm not.
May 25th.
May 25th, the Thursday annual installation dinner at the Renaissance Hotel in Berkeley. It reflects that it starts at 6 o'clock. So want to report on that. Second, also on April 20th, we had a Planning Community Design Commission meeting. In our reports from the Planning Community Design Commission, Mr. Trejo identifies and goes over what occurred at that meeting. Clearly, the Sunrise Dispensary will be coming back and presenting some improvements to the feedback they received from the commission with regards to their design and reflecting that it is meeting with our master plan sense of place. With that, again, I will just encourage you to review and read what Mr. Trejo has said about the previous meeting and where things will begin to have Sunrise present again on May 4th, and we'll see where that goes. The commission did reflect that, yes, you're a legitimate business and we want you in the community. However, you have to meet certain expectations. So
Do you have a date for that?
May 4th, May 4th PCDC meeting. So it's like, where's the wow factor? That's really kind of what the body said. All you're doing right now is painting a building. The traffic report does reflect that it reflects one stall shorter than what is required if it were to be peak activity, and not everything's peak activity. The gentleman spoke about how it was 420 day and it's the busiest day all around the country, and currently, things went well in his other areas of Kansas City, and they're looking at other ways to deal with the people that come to purchase for consumption. So May 4th. And with that, I'll leave it at that. Everyone can read their own reports, and I appreciate if you have any questions, let me know.
Great, thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is the monthly financial report for March of 2023.
Good evening, council members. In front of us, we have the 9 months up to the end of March 31st for our monthly financial reports to finally get caught up on these. And general fund revenues are 24,000 below expectations, which is really close, on $6.2 million in total revenue. And then expenditures are below expectations, as we've seen for the last 3 to 4 months. This month by 732,000 for a net favorable variance of $708,000. Sales tax collections have made record highs, and that's good news as we go into our budgeting. Property taxes are maintained for the last month right on budget expectations. Utility taxes remain normalized just below expectations. Again, not much standouts other than our permits. They've remained behind most of the year. And it's mostly in the one line item for commercial permits. It's just the timing of when our permits come in. We're expecting some bigger ones to come through, namely at Olive Crossing. And if those come through, we'll be in good shape. If nothing else, we'll get those next year. So that's in most of those categories, they remain fairly mixed. But in the expenditure side, nothing new is kind of showing up. Our personnel costs were slower than hiring than we had thought, and then vacancies as well contributed to that. Bigger costs, and namely the comprehensive plan, and then the community center, obviously, as not opening, we had assumed in December, is contributing to a lot of those variances. Chart of the month, I didn't include a chart, but I did want to remind folks, we can get some of our budgeting kind of discussions out of the way here. I have a couple here for tonight. One, there's right now is the schedule of grants for the ARPA money, which is technically called the SLFRF, or the state and local relief funds, federal relief fund. So quick list of the projects we have: 1200 North Price electrical system upgrades. That's a public works building. The parking lots at Stacy Park and the community center. This total cost is a little bit out of whack here, but 350,000 is allocated now after the reallocation in October. The North Price and Olive intersection northern leg, which is part of that cost share, one of the factors inside of this cost share agreement, and the total cost at 510,000. And then the Dealman Industrial and Olive intersection north, which is the where the lane ends on Olive, and if you don't get over, you run into the gas line and the tree and a sewer lid. So there's some improvements there that have been earmarked at 350,000. Wayfinding implementation, which the RFP is very near, as we talked, Beverly talked about in that Parks and Rec Commission meeting a little bit. So there's 100. Here's the funding for that's at 150,000. Private street assessment and acceptance process, that's at 40,000. The comprehensive plan update, this is just a portion of it at 150,000 from the ARPA money, and then another $120,000 in our budgeting. Then the final piece is some digital editing software, not software, the Adobe Pro and Bluebeam usage. We've made some progress in that. Probably the only thing we've seen any kind of progress, money spent wise, is in that line item there, and it's helped out a lot between to decrease our printing costs and be able to do some paperless plan reviews, which is a laborious and expensive project kind of process, and to move forward with that. So that's what we have on our chart of the month. I don't have much else inside of here. There was something I was really excited about letting people know, so we didn't have to go through. I'm not going to remember it right now though. So I'll open it up to any questions anyone might have as we.
Anyone else have any questions?
No.
No,
I have one. If you go
Yeah.
back to the ARPA,
Yeah, good.
is it 350,000 for the lower lot at the community center or the upper lot?
We had identified it originally as a parking lots at Stacy Park. Thankfully, we were able to address that before Stacy Park opened up with the pavilion. So, obviously that's more or less taken care of there. And then this would be the lower lot at the community center where the actual Five Oaks is going to be
Right.
located. The driveway, it may enter into this, and those lower lots at the community center.
That would be amazing.
This is another, we have some discussions to be held on our community center and that those lots of what we're going to do with them. And that's going to be part of another bigger discussion on coming forward. about what we're gonna do and the mechanics of how we pay for that. And
Okay.
this is a big piece.
Okay, great, thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is the quarterly investment report.
Oh, welcome back, Mr. Mann.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, everyone online, you couldn't see what we were looking at here. So. Bear with me for a second. There's that. And then a quarterly investment report. Not a whole lot to report other than it's, this is the part I remembered, good. So we have our 12-month ladder. And then we've introduced in the beginning of January, kind of a secondary ladder. And the secondary ladder in our general fund is these kind of big pieces up here. And you can see they're in 3-month chunks of about $2 to $3 million. And what I wanted to bring up here, this is a big piece of our budgeting as we go forward, because you can see each one of these chunks at 4.64% yields. It kicks off about $30,000 to $35,000 in income every 3 months. You know, so something like that, that's a big deal to that other revenue source. And that's what's driving a lot of the availability of doing these things. So anticipated interest earnings based on what we hold today at $224,000. And if rates stay up and these top pieces keep coming around, that's neighborhood of $300,000 and $400,000, which is great news. Bond proceeds down here, we're at 63,000. These are starting to wind down as the community center begins to open. And that's another piece we're gonna be talking about with the community center. That's a kind of a wild card in our budgets for the community center. We're due in May for a dashboard update, and that's would be kind of the discussion as we go in through there. That's all that I have. I do plan on keeping up with this right here. Our cash needs are not won't dwindle any of these balances here. We will see these construction bond proceeds. They're going to start winding down in the next 3-6 months, but not without significant. You can see some of these kicking off $10,000 to $20,000 in interest, which is again a silver lining to not having a community center that we thought. So more than happy to answer any questions.
No.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is hearing from citizens.
So is there anyone in the room that would like to speak tonight? And anyone online that would like to speak?
Oh, there it is.
Did you just close the room?
Yeah, I just moved it up. Yep. So I don't see what.
Okay, thank you. One member is here twice. You must have us on. two
So excited.
devices.
2 different rooms.
Okay, we're good. Next item, please.
The next item is the city council reorganization for 2023-2024.
Okay. So first I'd like to have the city clerk share with us. Sir. Will you just read through A and B? You want to start with A?
Yes,
You have to
the
certify the
election,
election.
results. So on April 4th of 2023, we had two seats open for council members. We had 2 people running. J. Gregory Carl, who had 1,124 votes for 47.75%. And Maxine Weil had 1,230 votes for 52.25%. And then we also had on the ballot Proposition M, which was just a simple majority required. And we had 1,192 yes votes for 76.41% and 368 no votes for 23.59%.
What about for the county task? Or is that we only do ours?
Only to ours.
Okay, very good. Next item.
We need a motion to accept the election results.
Okay,
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the certified election results.
Second,
call for a vote.
Councilmember Clark,
yes.
Councilmember Waldman.
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes.
Chairman Carl.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay, and then next is the swearing in of elected officials. So now I will swear in the 2 council members from the April election.
Um. Missy? Half the mall is missing.
No, we're both person camera.
Well,
Oh.
I was gonna put.
And then we're gonna, after I say out, we can just go through them. So
I,
I-
J. Gregory Carl.
I, Maxine Weil,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly Swear
that I possess
that I possess
that I
all the
possess
qualifications
all the
all the
qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for a council member,
for a council member,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws
the provisions of all laws
of the state of Missouri
of the state of Missouri
affecting cities
affecting cities
and the ordinances of the city of Olivet,
and the ordinances of the city of Olivet,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office.
the duties of the office. Thank you. And thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the election and swearing in of the mayor for 2023-2024. We need a motion,
Ma-
we need nominations for mayor.
Madam Mayor, city council members, while past practice has been to rotate among the council members, there is no policy or process for this practice. The council is free to nominate anyone in no specific order. Given the many ongoing projects and search for a new city manager for continuity, and her leadership, I would like to nominate Maxine Weil for a second term as mayor of the city of Olivet.
I'll second that.
You don't need a second, we just need a vote.
Is there any discussion?
When is that?
It's right on the paper.
Is, I thought we've always had a second. I learned
We
that.
can.
We always have.
Okay,
You can.
so, but is there any discussion? Okay. Call for the vote?
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldman.
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes,
Chairman Carl,
Yes.
Mayor.
Abstain.
Okay. So Maxine Weil is the mayor for 2023-2024.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, time to swear.
What about our mayor pro?
I gotta go down and get sworn in again.
Up and down.
Yeah.
It's a good aerobic workout. Up and down.
I
I, Maxine Weil,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for my office,
for my office,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws
the provisions of all laws
of the state of Missouri
of the state of Missouri
affecting cities
affecting cities
and the ordinances of the city of Olivet,
and the ordinances of the city of Olivet,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office.
the duties of the office. Thank you.
A little later, you will know.
why don't we wait until we get the next?
Yeah.
sworn in? We haven't-
Yeah. After the swear in. Yeah.
Before we nominate a chairman pro tem, I would like to say a few words. Good evening. As I transition from one year to the next, I would like to share a few reflections. This past year, we truly focused on keeping one foot in front of the other as we moved the city forward with our ongoing development, park renovations, and building of our new community center. We also added to the mix the beginning of our DEIB exploration and education. We recently completed phase 1, looking inward at our policies and procedures for the city and our employees and the council. As we begin phase 2, we will focus on educational opportunities for these groups, as well as moving forward in looking at the depth and breadth of how we can expand this into the community through engagement and town hall meetings. Other highlights of this year included the task force for a new comprehensive plan, which has begun and is engaging the community through surveys and upcoming events. The last one was completed in 2006. The parks renovations are complete except for a few tweaks. We'll be celebrating at Stacy Park next week, so please join us. And in the next few months, we anticipate the opening of the 5 Oaks on Warson, our new community center, which will be offering an array of activities. We are anxiously awaiting its completion, but as the saying goes, some things are worth waiting for. As you all know, we bid farewell to Barbara Sondag, our city manager of 10 years. During her tenure, the previous strategic plan met many of its benchmarks. As we move forward with the interview process, we are fortunate to have Darren Mann as our financial director, who has assumed the responsibilities as the interim city manager. Thank you, Darren, for helping us with a smooth transition, your professionalism, and your insight. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to recognize our city staff who works tirelessly for the city of Olivet. Our community is stronger because of these individuals and our first responders. I would also like to acknowledge the department heads this evening. Police Department Chief Beth Andreski, Fire Department Chief Steve Carmen, Director of Communications Kiana Fleming, Director of Human Resources Denise Mandel, Director of Finance Darren Mann, Director of Public Works Bruce McGregor, Courts Administrator Sarah Runser, Director of Planning and Community Development Carlos Trejo, Director of Parks and Recreation Beverly Tucker Knight, and of course, our city attorney, Paul Martin. It is important for our constituents to know that our city council is comprised of 5 dedicated individuals, each with their own voice, that want what is best for the city of Olivet and for our residents. We have robust conversations, listen to one another, and weigh our options. Some agenda items, which appear to the eye as simplistic can take on a life of their own, and we can each speak our mind and agree to disagree. But in the end, we walk out with respect for one another. Thank you to Greg Carl, who has served as the chairman pro tem this year, Sydney Clark, Rick Knox, and Missy Waldman for never holding back. That wasn't Missy holding back, it was all of them. I am, the way it came out, I paused. I am fortunate once again that family members and friends have come to show their support both online and in person. And I am also fortunate that 2 Olivet alumni came tonight. Thank you all for being here. A year ago, I pledged as mayor to serve the city with dedication and pride. I will continue to do so into this next year as we have more to accomplish and celebrate. Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is the election and swearing in of a chairman pro tem for 2023-2024.
Madam Mayor, I would like to nominate Missy Wallman for Mayor Pro Tem.
Are we doing the second?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is there a second?
City Council, I second that.
Okay, call for the vote.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes,
Councilmember Waldman,
Abstain.
okay. Chairman pro tem Carl,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
motion passed. So Missy Waldman will be the chairman pro tem for 2023, 2024, and we're now going to swear her in.
We're gonna take a picture after that.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
I, Missy Waldman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all of the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for my office,
for my office,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws
the provisions of all
of
laws
the state of Missouri
of the state of Missouri
affecting cities
affecting cities
and the ordinances of the city of Olivet,
and the ordinances of the city of Olivet,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office.
the duties of the office. Thank you. ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to this year. My vision of the comprehensive plan has already happened. And I'm looking forward to what our community wants for the next 20 years. And that includes my fellow council members and our leadership to make sure that this continues to go forward. To everyone in the city of Olivet, you're awesome. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to what this year is going to be. Mayor, let's go get her done.
Very good.
Perfectly in line according to height. Gotta move, I gotta move, I gotta move.
Okay. Okay, who we moving?
Oh, Maxie, I still sit next to you.
Yep. Okay. Sounds like a deal. You're up here.
Okay.
We need a moment to reorganize. Am I allowed to wave to my daughter? Thank you for being here, child.
Okay. Anybody want a cookie?
She's on Zoom.
Did you get it open?
She's on Zoom. And so is Jody. Thank you, Jody, for being here.
Yes.
Okay. Snack time's over. Let's move on.
Mayor, the only other, now we have housekeeping items to take care of, which are the election of the city treasurer. Right now, Michael Ferguson is the city treasurer. And he's expressed an interest to continue in that capacity if you'd like to appoint him. So I just need a motion as such to take care of that.
So moved.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes.
Councilmember Carl.
Yes.
Chairman pro tem Waldman.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Good. Other items, next items up here are council liaison appointments. This is we can wait, do this at a future time, but we do have 6 commissions to appoint council member liaisons too, if you guys want to discuss that amongst yourself or if it's.
I believe that at this point in time, people have showed an interest in staying with their commissions. So I can report that. And then do we vote on that or we just
So Parks and Rec Commission appointee will be Maxine Weil.
Maxine Weil,
Okay. Economic Development Commission appointee will be
Greg Carl,
Carl. All right. Zoning Board of Appeals
Rick
liaison,
Knox,
Pension Board
Greg Carl,
and Housing Authority
Maxine Weil,
and the Planning and Community Design Commission.
Missy Waldman.
Okay.
And then Sydney Clark will serve as a substitute for any of us if we're ever in need.
And then I don't think we need a motion to complete that. Those will just be as such. Next item would be the designation of an official newspaper. Currently, the Countian, which is formerly known as the St. Louis Countian, as the official newspaper for the city of Olivet, and I would need a motion as such to continue that for the next year.
So moved.
Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Walden,
Yes.
Alderman, sorry, wait, Missy, Mayor,
Yes.
motion passed.
And the final piece of housekeeping here is something we don't usually see on our reorganization, but I'd like to discuss changing the posting site, the 3 locations for our agendas. The city charter calls for this location or the city hall location to be one of them. For a couple other reasons, mostly noticing for the public good, but also we have some things that come up from time to time between budgets, tax rates, CDBG funding, those grant things that we need to notice out more than one place, and they have to be in the public. I'd like to, right now we do it here at City Hall and also at the Olivet Center. There's 2 locations there that we do it. We would like to discontinue the use of the Olivet Center locations and then make them 1200 North Price, which is we would know it as a Public Works building. And then another one would be 5 Oaks on Warson, which is their new community center. So the motion there is to name the Olivet City Center, 5 Oaks on Warson, and Olivet Public Works Building as official posting sites for the city of Olivet, with the Olivet Center remaining as a posting site until such time 5 Oaks on Warson opens to the public.
So moved.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you. They got a rhythm on this side now.
Sydney and I don't mess around.
Next item, please.
Item number 9 is resolution number 2023-237. A resolution approving a 39 North Greenway intergovernmental cooperation and reimbursement agreement.
I'll kick this off and then hand it over to our 39 North, or sorry, GRG expert, Bruce McGregor. First is more the housekeeping part of this, which is there's an intergovernmental cooperation and reimbursement agreement. And what that is a fancy term for completing some of the preliminary engineering for the 39 North portions of the 599D or the Centennial Trail. There's spurs essentially outside of the Centennial Trail inside of 39 North. Our portion of this is $15,000, and that's the ask for tonight. The breakdown, I'm gonna make everyone sick for a second. The breakdown of who else is paying inside of here is the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center, Bayer Crop Science, and then the City of Creve Coeur are other people inside of this to make up the $150,000 for this engineering part of that. Again, this is the housekeeping part and kind of what's bringing us forward. But any questions towards this outside of this, or what in the heck are we approving tonight? What's preliminary design for what is a good question for Mr. McGregor. So if we don't have any questions, I'll kick it over to him. Right.
Good evening, recently reorganized council member.
Thank you.
Bruce McGregor. In so many years, we have never been surrounded by this many construction projects. I remember looking at the original preliminary plans for the Centennial Greenway in Indian Meadows and what was originally constructed in 2000, thinking, boy, I really hope that day comes. And now we're surrounded by it. So a few weeks ago, we talked about the actual Centennial Greenway in the 4 segments. And interestingly enough, at the opposite ends of the city, those parts are now under construction at the 5 Oaks complex and at I-170. And the two segments in the middle between Olive Boulevard and Dealman to Warson Park, those are moving forward. This segment recognizes the need for another loop of cyclists coming through Olivet that would use either Old Bonham Road, might come up Dealman, that wouldn't have access to the Greenway from Clayton or other points south and east. It also aligns very well with our need to make a connection between residents south of Olive near Stacy Park and our subdivisions north of Olive towards Kingsbrook, Queensbrook, Forsythia, Grandview, all of that area. So those were items identified in the comprehensive plan, a dynamic sense of place, and many other areas of our need. When this project first came up of how we were going to get that connection of the on-road network off of Old Bonham to 39 North, so that's basically Old Bonham Road and Olive or Stacy Park vicinity, to 39 North, Danforth Center, Helix, that whole complex west of Warson and north of Olive. The team put out many different options. How can we do this? Where are we going to go? And one of them included a discussion with what was then Monsanto and had just become the Bear campus. At the time, Bear had no interest in allowing a community trail to come through their campus. So the preliminary work really focused at looking at Olive Boulevard corridor, which is not really trail friendly, adjacent to the roadway, and how to get north to Warson Road, where the Greenway crosses at our Five Oaks facility. So we've come full circle. Everybody's reinvigorated to take this process to the next steps. And lo and behold, Bear campus is now interested in having that connection. Obviously, they recognize the need in the future and the benefit to whatever property value they have. So as you looked at the distribution of costs, we have a very small share of this engineering, but that's because we have a very small amount of linear footage. We had a preliminary discussion or follow-up discussion after looking at the statement of work. And part of the city's goal is to maintain the segment that goes through Olivet, not just from Stacy Park at Warson Road west, but we keep the segment relevant from Old Bonham Road north to Warson Road, because we really want to keep something moving to create a connection there. They have a proposed alignment that crosses, it goes basically north adjacent to Bonham Lakes Apartments, and then crosses due west at the north side of the cemetery. That was the chosen preliminary alignment. And all but one of the landowners was casually interested or okay with such a project, including the church and both churches. So our goal is to keep that relevant. And we did verify that is going to be part of the discussion, and we'll hopefully move to a little bit further of an alignment design. It probably wouldn't get 100% completion, but it'll keep the project moving and keep Olivet residents, in the process. And if something should change on the Bear campus, we'll have it ready. And if not, maybe that's a future grant for us to consider to get a better pedestrian trail type connection. So glad to answer any questions.
Are there any questions?
I know it's a lot to chew on there.
Okay, go ahead.
And just also, this would be completed in the next budget year. So it is not an immediate ask for this year. It would be happening in fiscal year 24. So it came in at a good time for us to do our programming for capital, to have this in there. And it's possible that this might not happen until fiscal year 25, depending on which segments they begin the process. They might, choose to start at points north and work south, and in which case our segment would be designed last. So.
Chairman Pro Tem.
I do. Thank you very much. First, it's the cost of engineering now. You may not even have this answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Mhm.
If we're putting in cost of engineering now, what are they going to want out of us next?
Well, so there are a number of alternatives. It could be a fully funded GRG project. I would tend to think we would do a maybe discussion with East West Gateway to see if this would be a viable tap grant like we're using in Indian Meadows Park, that segment.
Mhm.
Just because there would be quite a bit of right away, acquisition or negotiation, permanent easements. It's a small project and sometimes those fit in as good gaps. If we find out during the process that we have all these landowners that are just willing to donate, the necessary easements or right away, then it might be something we can program in our capital budget. I just think it's such an important connection. The more good crossings we can get across Olive or improved, the better.
Okay. And with Bear, actually leaving the 95 acres on the market for sale, like you said, if this goes 2 years down the road, what is the guarantee of Bear? I realize they'll still be out further west in Chesterfield, but in whatever the contract is, are we protected that Bear's not out of the picture, that they're still going to be a part of this? Because from what I read, they're going to be giving a lot more money than what we are giving. And I would expect that, to be, ongoing and not we're not owners anymore in a year.
Right.
So,
And I'd say that's just a risk we have to take. It is, the green, it would burn a lot of bridges. But with Greenway, with the commission, with 39 North, with all the parties, City of Creve Coeur, but Bear's a big outfit and we're a little taut in their scope. So if they decided to pull the plug, it's just a risk. And there really isn't too much we can do about it. The good news is they have plenty of alignment adjacent to their property that wouldn't really affect any future needs on that entire part. And that entire property is huge. And the alignment of the trail makes the most sense along the perimeter adjacent to the Warson Road and Olive right away. And I just wouldn't see that really having an adverse effect on the entire property.
Twenty 237, a resolution approving a 39 North Greenway intergovernmental cooperation and reimbursement agreement.
Second.
Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl.
Yes.
Chairman Waldman,
yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
motion passed.
Next
you.
item, please.
Thank you.
Next item is hearing from citizens, part 2.
Does anyone in the room care to make a comment or those online? Okay, then we'll move forward. Next item.
Next item is review and approval of minutes.
Madam Mayor, I read all the minutes. I saw no errors myself. I don't know what my peers did, but I think they're fine.
I did not see any errors either.
I didn't see any either.
I'll second chairperson Wallman motion. That was a motion. right?
It was that we can approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
I second.
That's your second. Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
motion passed.
Next item, please.
The next item is the city attorney's report.
Madam Mayor, I have no report, but would request a closed session for attorney-client communications and discussions of personnel under sections 1 and subsections 1 and 3 of 610-021 of the revised statutes of Missouri.
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes.
Councilmember Carl.
Yes.
Chairman Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
motion passed.
And for those of you online, we are going to pause the recording to go into closed session. Okay. We are out of closed session and no decisions were made. I would be happy to entertain a motion.
We move to adjourn. I move to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.